In this video I'll give you a quick close-up look at the Soundcore Space One Pro and see how it compares to some competitors from Sony and Yamaha. We'll cover sound quality, microphone performance and noise cancelling. Let's go! The Space One Pro has the latest Bluetooth 5.3, supports high-res audio and high-res audio wireless, and boasts 40 hours of battery life with activated ANC and even 60 hours without ANC. Plus, with just a 5-minute charge you get 8 hours of playback, so even if you forget to charge them, a quick 5-minute boost gives you enough juicy juice for a full workday. Now, I won't bore you with all the technical specs, you can check those out on the website I've linked down below. But the folding mechanism, for example, is something that deserves some scientist type of serious attention. With a sleek twist, you can fold these headphones into an ultra-compact size, smaller than almost all other competitors. Only the old Bose QCs comes close, they get flatter, but still keeps a bit of a larger footprint. Sony and Edifier, take note. Yamaha tries, but it is still a bit larger when folded. The build quality is exactly what you'd expect for $200. The materials feel premium, with sleek sturdy metal hinges on the ear cups, unlike the Sony headphones where plastic parts can break easily, which is widely reported, for example on Amazon. And that headphone should cost $400 at launch. For $200, heck, even for $10, shit like that would kick me into Hulk-style rage mode and I would launch them into the next best wall, which on top would probably void my guarantee, I guess. Oh, how the Soundcore Space One Pro holds up, you ask? Full metal. No such problems here. It's not quite the Apple design approach, seeing hinges in plain sight. But let me tell you what I can see here infuses me with trust. And how much trust, I hear you ask? Well, if you die wearing the Space One Pros and get discovered 738 years later by some alien expedition, the green fellas will wonder why humans had two metal hinges floating beside their head when buried. That's how much. Okay, let's talk about head size. The Space One Pros are very adjustable. Not only the ear cups swivel about 270 degrees, but it also gets large for the really big heads. If the Bose QC35 fits your head at maximum extension, the Soundcore will too. The only headphones in my collection that goes even bigger are the Yamaha WH-1000XM5. If I measure from earlobe to earlobe over the top of my head, it says 46 centimeters or 18.1 inches. And like I said, the Space One Pros go even a bit bigger than that. The very soft pleather ear cushions featuring memory foam that springs back a bit faster than Sony's. But Sony's cushions feel like they've been coated with a raincoat-like material. Also, the headband on the Sony's was a painful design decision, and I mean painful. The headband is basically a round piece with limited cushioning, minimizing the area where it touches the head. This results in higher pressure that, despite its lower weight, is very sensible. It can get uncomfortable pretty fast. Soundcore's headband offers a wider contact patch distributing the weight to a larger surface, hence reducing the pressure. That makes a very comfortable fit with a real long session ability. The outside of Sony's ear cups feels like paper. Not thin like paper, but just different and pretty interesting. Here, take a listen. But beware, the black version picks up fingerprints like a magnet, which is great. Not. And since the right ear cup is also touch sensitive, it makes the fingerprint magnet feature even greater. Weirdly, on the light gray version I have here, fingerprints are not a problem at all. The Soundcore Space One Pros, no touch controls whatsoever. And I love it. Instead you get real buttons for volume, play pause, ANC and power. There's also the USB-C charging port and a 3.5mm jack, just like on the Sony's for wired high-res audio. That is, as long as you have the right device to plug them in. Design-wise, the Soundcore Pro, especially in cream white, is stunning. It reminds me of luxury car interiors, with its cream white pleather and matte silver accents and how the materials interact with each other. It just looks timeless and classy. The Sony WH-1000XM5s are matte gray. Everywhere.
Boring!
Now, Sony does have a few features that Soundcore lacks, like head tracking, but that's more of a gimmick in my opinion. So if you activate that feature, the soundstage is in front of you. And if you turn your head, for example, to the right, the soundstage stays here and you can hear it mainly from the left side. This is head tracking. It is fun to try and play for a short time, but not very practical day to day. Another feature Sony has that Soundcore doesn't is wear detection. Sony pauses your music when you take them off. The Space One Pro can't do that, but honestly, that's not a deal breaker, at least for me. What would be an uber cool feature for the Soundcores is if they would turn on when you unscrew them from their burger position into the listening position. But that ain't a thing. I should be a professional product design feature creator professor. So Soundcore, hook me up. Feature-wise, both headphones offer adaptive noise cancelling, transparency modes, and plenty of mics for clear phone calls. Both of them come with apps, but I personally prefer Soundcore's app. It's easier to use and it just looks better. Both also have a chat mode, which pauses your music and activates transparency mode when you start speaking. Perfect for quick conversations like asking for a bus ticket or the directions to accidentally walk into a biker gang to get the day off, or something like that. With Sony, you can tap the right ear cup to temporarily turn down your music and activate transparency mode, which is handy for announcements on public transport. Unfortunately, Soundcore doesn't have this feature. You have to lift an ear cup. Both headphones have customizable EQs via their apps. I preferred Sony's tuning slightly more, meaning the difference between before and after automatic tuning. But this is no heavy task, because the Sony sound is so underwhelming out of the box that mostly any EQ correction would be an improvement. The Space One Pro, on the other hand, sounds great out of the box. Sony sounds thinner and more mid-focused, while Soundcore has a Soundcore typical deep, rich bass. The first few hours the Space One Pros have to burn in. In the beginning the sound is very bass heavy and the treble is a bit harsh. After the first 5 to 10 hours, there is a significant improvement. The bass gets clean, deep and solid, and the highs become a silky, naturally balanced tone. The mids also sound natural, bringing voices and instruments to life and creating a balanced and detailed soundstage with good separation and definition. Funny thing is, I had the same phenomenon on the Liberty 3 Pro. I can see a pattern here. Now, I'll strap these headphones to the mic for a direct comparison. Remember, this isn't a perfect representation of the sound, just a comparison between them. So grab your headphones and listen closely. And don't leave yet, we'll be testing the noise cancellation features next.
Easy to forget how precious our lives are, how beautiful the stars are, the light that we feel, birds singing in the morning, the calm before the storm.
Right, I'll start the airplane noise for you to get a baseline, and this is without any headphone on. Gut, das ist der Transparenzmodus und ihr hört, Meine Stimme und die Flugzeuggeräusche kommen relativ gut durch.
Jetzt sollte man mich sehr gut hören können, denn jetzt habe ich die Umgebungsgeräuschdurchlassfunktion aktiviert. Ihr müsstet mich jetzt relativ gut durch den Sony-Kopfhörer hören, und zwar in Stereo, einmal rechts, einmal links. Ich schalte jetzt den Staubsauger ein im Transparenzmodus.
Right, next we will make a nice cup of coffee. But the grinder is pretty loud, and I have a very important conversation going on over my headphones. Which one will do a better job of cancelling out the unwanted noises? This is the Sony headphones while I'm making a coffee. And I'm just talking while the grinder works, which is very loud. You can hear it on the microphone and on the headphones. The difference is quite obvious. This is the Soundcore headphones while I'm making a coffee. And this is the sound you hear when the grinder works, which is ziemlich loud. Which is pretty loud. We can hear the Sony headphones do a little bit of a better job cancelling out the noise from the coffee grinder compared to the Soundcore headphones. But none of them is really bad. They are both pretty good. Okay, the following is my own opinion. I don't know about you, but the Sonys had kind of an unpleasant sound. The bass is there, but it is hiding really good. You can beef it up in the app, of course, but even then the whole sound profile of the XM5s is pretty boring. Best case scenario is listening to an audiobook, because voices sound pretty good on these. But as soon as you put music or anything else with a more diverse sound profile on them, they get pretty boring. The bass is too thin, mids are okay, but the upper mids and highs are washed out and not very well defined. There is no good separation between all the different instruments and noises. At least not $300 good. The Soundcore, on the other hand, offers a wide, open sound with a wonderful, deep and clear bass section, which is especially awesome for electronic music. The mids represent voices and instruments very clear and realistic. In conjunction with the highs, they build a wonderful soundstage with good separation, a good amount of sparkle and clearance. Although the top end is more pronounced than on the Sonys, the Soundcores will never fatigue or hurt your ears. So sound-wise, the Soundcores takes the cake here. In terms of noise cancelling, both of them are really good. The Sonys passed a bit of the higher pitched noise, which the Soundcore does cut out better. That is why the Soundcores appear to cancel out more than the Sonys on the vacuum test in my workshop. Lower noises, on the other hand, gets a bit better cancelled out by Sony. The airplane simulation test I did showed that the Sonys are able to make the whole experience a bit more quiet. Similar thing on the microphones. The coffee grinder gets cut out pretty much the same amount on both of the headphones. The thing is, Sony's voice isolation sounds more natural, clearer and less choppy than on Soundcore. If the noise level is way lower, say for example in an office environment, then they both sound pretty darn good on the phone. Of course, everyone has a different taste and preference, so you may like the Sonys more, but in my honest opinion, the only one to choose here is clearly the Soundcore. They are way cheaper, better build quality, the sound out of the box is so much better, and even if you tinker with the equalizer, you won't get the Sonys to sound better than the Soundcores. It is what it is. Battery runtime is way longer. Sony offers 30 hours with ANC and 40 hours without. Soundcore delivers 40 hours with ANC and even 60 hours without. And there's so much more. I'd take the Soundcore all day over the Sonys. If you need more information about one of the two, I'll link them in the video description. And if you consider buying one of them, I'd greatly appreciate if you would use my affiliate links, which is conveniently placed right down in the description as well. You would help me out a bunch. Thanks a lot in advance. That's it for today. Hope you're a bit smarter than you were before. If yes, you can show it by a very smart submarine. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay loud, I'm out.